Bro, let me ask you something straight up. How many nights have you stared at your phone, waiting for something that never came? A message, a call, a single sign that she still thinks about you. You refresh your apps, you check your notifications, you convince yourself maybe the network's slow. But deep down, she's not reaching out. She's not missing you. She's just gone. Not blocked, not angry, just silent, like a ghost you never expected to vanish. And now you're stuck in this mental loop, asking yourself the same question over and over. Is she done with me? Or is she waiting for me to make the next move? Man, I've been there. That space between confusion and closure, it's a battlefield. You're hurting, but can't even explain what's happening. You don't know what you did wrong. You don't know what to fix. You're just left there holding your breath, stuck in a silence that feels like a punishment you never earned. But let me tell you something. This isn't just about her. This silence you're sitting in, it's a mirror. It's showing you something far more important than whether she still cares. It's showing you who you really are when no one is clapping, when no one is validating you, when the comfort you once had is stripped away. Most guys crumble, they panic, they chase, they break, and that's exactly what she's watching for, whether consciously or not. Because silence, it's not always absence. Sometimes it's observation. Sometimes it's the test. She's not texting you because she's waiting to see if you lose yourself without her presence. You used to feed off her energy, her attention, those good morning texts, that reassurance, that emotional oxygen. Now that it's gone, she's wondering, can you still breathe? And that's when it begins. The real test, not just about her, about you. Do you still show up for yourself? Or do you spiral? Do you still go to the gym, still work on your goals, still lead your life? Or are you now just orbiting a ghost of someone who's no longer choosing you? This is what makes a man different. Because some men, they get defined by silence. Others, they get refined by it. And trust me, she's watching. She might not say it, might not admit it, but she wants to see who you are without her eyes on you. You know what's crazy? A woman's silence will reveal everything about a man's emotional architecture. Because most men, when a woman goes quiet, they immediately panic. They fill her inbox with apologies she never asked for. They write paragraphs trying to decode an issue she never explained. They chase, they bleed, they perform. But a man who's rooted, he doesn't flinch. Not because he doesn't feel, but because he knows himself. He's anchored. And in that calm, that restraint, that self-control, that's where respect is born. And you might be thinking, isn't she playing games? Maybe, maybe not. But it's not your job to decode her silence. It's your job to master your response, to not let the absence of her voice turn down the volume of your own. Because here's the truth. If her silence rewires your confidence, if it shakes your self-worth, if it makes you question your entire identity, then you were never standing on your own 2 feet to begin with. You can't be a king if your crown only sits right when someone's clapping for you. Real confidence? It's quiet. It's stable. It's what shows up even when she doesn't. You want to know something else? Sometimes a woman doesn't even know what she's feeling. Her silence might not be strategy. It might be fear. Fear of caring too much. Fear of reaching out and not getting the response she wants. Fear that she felt something deeper than you did. So instead of speaking, she disappears. That doesn't mean you chase her. That doesn't mean you obsess. It means you stop making her silence about you. Because not everything is a rejection. Sometimes it's a reflection of her own uncertainty, her own doubts, her own walls. But your job is to stay rooted, to keep building, to remain unshaken. Let me break something down that most men miss. When she goes silent, she's not only watching your behavior, she's watching your energy. She wants to know, does your peace vanish when her presence does? Or do you remain composed? She wants to see if your strength was real, or if it only existed when she was validating you. Because if your mood rises and falls with her attention, that's not love, that's dependency. What really makes a man unforgettable is this. When he doesn't flinch in the silence, when he doesn't beg, when he doesn't explode, when he simply continues. Calm, focused, consistent. That's when she starts to wonder if she misjudged you. And I'm not saying do this to make her chase you. This isn't about playing games back. This is about you reclaiming yourself. You have two choices in the face of silence. You either spiral into it, or you rise above it. You either fill the void with desperation, or you fill your life with discipline. You've got to stop thinking she holds the key to your peace. Because once you hand that key over to someone else, you're no longer in control of your own life. So here's what you do now. You don't react, you realign. You don't chase, you choose yourself. You double down on your vision. You show up to your responsibilities. You sharpen your craft. You hit the gym. You read the books. You rebuild your body, your mind, your routine. Not because she's watching. Not because you want her to come back. But because this is who you are now. A man who stands up taller when silence surrounds him. A man who doesn't lose his path just because someone decided to walk a different one. And let me say this with every ounce of truth I've got. If she never texts again, if she never explains, never gives you closure, never says another word, do you still rise? If the answer is no, then you've built your self-worth around someone else's validation. And that's a fragile empire, my friend. One storm, and it all falls apart. But if you can say yes, if you can say, even if I never hear from her again, I'm still going to become everything I promised myself, then you're already winning. Because peace isn't about what happens outside you. It's about what stands still inside you. And that's the part she'll never forget. Not the texts, not the flowers, not the memories, but the unshakable man who didn't fold in her absence. That's the man who haunts her long after silence fades. That's the man who becomes legend in her memory, not because he begged to stay, but because he never needed to. So next time you feel that silence creeping in again, don't panic. Don't perform. Don't try to prove anything. Just sit still. In your power. In your presence. In your progress. Because if she does come back, it won't be for the man who crumbled when she left. It'll be for the man who evolved in her absence. And if she doesn't, then she was never meant to sit at the table you're building anyway. So don't wait. Don't wonder. Don't worship her silence. Respect yourself enough to rise anyway. You're not broken, brother. You're becoming. And if you've stayed with me this long, I want you to drop the word unshaken in the comments. Not for her, for you. To remind yourself who you are when no one's watching. And while you're at it, like this video, leave your thoughts below and hit that subscribe button for more real talk. Because you deserve to hear the truth, even when it hurts. This is your silence season, but it won't last forever. Keep building. Your comeback is being written in the quiet, because when you rise from silence, there's something different in your presence. You don't walk the same. You don't speak the same. People feel it. That calm, that self-respect, that unshakable energy of a man who didn't beg, didn't chase, didn't fold. You become the kind of man who doesn't just move on. You level up so hard the past version of you wouldn't even recognize the present. And maybe she sees that. Maybe she comes back around. Maybe she doesn't. But by then, it won't even matter. Because you won't be the man waiting anymore. You'll be the man building, creating, leading. The kind of man who doesn't just survive heartbreak, he builds his empire from it. So if you're in that silence right now, don't fear it. Don't try to fill it with noise. Don't run from the stillness. This is the part of your story where legends are made. Not when everyone is watching, but when no one sees the work you're doing in the dark. Let her wonder. Let the world sleep on you. Just don't sleep on yourself. Because one day, they'll all hear the roar from the man who sat quietly and became unstoppable. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.